Now in another video I discussed that mature bucks in general, have a completely different habitat type that they seek during the summer versus the fall. Rarely do those two blend together, because during the summer they need great summer food sources, soybeans, alfalfa, even maple leaves during the summer. Hardwoods, they love open big hardwoods that they can go sit on a knoll. It's shaded, good airflow, free from bugs. And all that type of summer habitat is completely different in the fall. During the fall, they can crash their velvet, or crash their antlers when it's not in velvet, crash that hard horn through high stem count cover and hardwood regeneration, and they can get into areas during the fall that they prefer that they couldn't get into during the summertime because of their velvet and because of their need for cover in the fall versus the summer. Their summer, it's no hunting pressure, they're lazy, living high in the hog, next to an adjacent soybean alfalfa field, and they can, maybe a big hardwood setting, they can go have great forage that's there during the summer that is not there along with the cover during the fall. However, what's really cool, I talk about summer trail cams and how if you're not getting a lot of mature bucks on them, don't worry, because that probably is an indication they have a great fall property, and fall properties are what drive the deer herd. They're the ones that attract bucks, hold mature bucks. They work on sex ratios, adequate buck age structures, and if you have that fall property where the deer are gravitated to, then you can actually maintain the population in balance with the habitat. So not only is it about those bucks and be able to improve adequate buck age structures and sex ratios, but then you can also either add to that population or subtract when needed if you have those does and doe family groups gravitating to your property. Now, one thing that's pretty cool though, we all love, even if it's just that random mature buck that comes through your land during the summertime, we love to get those pictures. Those bucks are trying to tell you something. And it's no different than when you get those random pictures in September and October on your land too. I always feel great to be included in that buck's home range. He's telling you that out of his 3 square mile home range that he has on average, if you get that random picture in the summertime that we all like to see, he's telling you, hey, I'm going to be back on your land at some point. Now, a lot of times, those bucks, they may be that core buck that comes back the end of September to the end of October, stays on your land, or stays around your land, focuses on your land on a daily basis, your fall food source, your fall cover. It may be that buck that's back, when I call him a core buck, where he's going to be there for a while. He might be there for 2 or 3 weeks, a month, 5 or 6 weeks. He's there frequently, 2 or 3 times a week, in and around daytime hours. That's that core buck, especially if you see him in September, October. A lot of times though, it seems like these random summer bucks, they could be that core buck. But if not, he's at least telling you he's going to be back during the rut. And when I say rut, not the pre-rut, like October, Michigan, end of October in Michigan, end of October in Wisconsin. Great time for that pre-rut to be kicking in. But right in that peak rut, when you have November 7th through November 15th, whatever that time frame is, he's telling you know what, I'm going to be back on your property, and I'm probably going to be back on your property during the daylight. Now, he's probably not going to be back when it's an 80-degree, unseasonably warm day with 30 mile-an-hour of wind. Could be. But odds are, if you're a betting man, and I am, you have to play poker in the deer woods, is that I'm going to put my efforts into when it's a cold day, unseasonably cold day, moderate winds or less, maybe big wind changes, of course, big temperature changes that I talk about, barometric pressure going up, temperature going down. Those are all great times for him to be there. If you look at that window during that peak rut, he's telling you, I'm going to be on your land, but I'm going to be here this day, that day. There are really, folks, there's 3 days that he might be there in that peak rut. And it all could boil back to he's told you he's coming, and you need to be ready for him. Kind of try to figure out where he's during the summertime, maybe where his core range is during the fall, which direction he's coming onto your land. And that's no different going forward into September, October. You'll have those random buck pictures. I've shot a lot of bucks, some really mature, some of my best bucks in that 5-6-year-old age class that have told me with just 5, 6, 7, 8 pictures over the last 2 to 3 years that they're that non-core buck. That's that buck that's going to come back during the rut. Maybe he'll come back on opening day, gun season, if he gets pushed in. Maybe he'll come back if you have this great December food source, standing brassica, if you can make a standing bead field last there. If it's warm and you have standing rye, you could still have that great winter food source. He's telling you, you know what, you're part of my core, September and October. I'm not going to be back until the peak of the rut. I'm not going to be back till that late season food source. And even with just a small number of pictures, I mean really a handful over a 2 to 3 year period, feel blessed that he's a part of that you're a part of his core. He's telling you that he's his home range and that he will be back, and make your plans for that. That's why I love getting these summertime random buck pictures. We're going to check this trail camera. We already found one on one of the other ones. But again, he's telling you, you know what? You're not a part of my core, if ever, but I will be back during the rut, and you can count on it. And that's why we love these trail cameras, and we love finding these summer bucks. It's a lot of fun. Learn what that buck is telling you and that amount of buck intel that he's giving you just with 1 or 2 pictures. He'll be back.